We have not heard from Mr. Chimosho and this committee how far they have gone, and the circumstances leading to the termination of the proceedings. And this is where we are now. So that's why we are saying we are dissatisfied, we are disillusioned with the way Parliament has conducted these investigations, as if they are not that serious. In other words, Madam Speaker of Parliament, the Speaker of Parliament, the chairperson of this so-called fact-finding team, and the entire team are equally culpable for what transpired yesterday in Kampala. Because they ought to have investigated this matter in time, made a report, and the remedial actions recommended. Unfortunately, they are complicit in these crimes being perpetrated by Ham Kigundu. Shame upon you, Madam Speaker Among, and your team. Now, what is the way forward? Number one, we have asked management to swing into action to arrest and prosecute Ham Kigundu, because that is their mandate, their duty. Whatever he's doing is illegal. So there is no reason why we should acquiesce in these illegalities as an institution. The treatment of criminals or offenders is well known under the law. How are they treated? They are not supposed to be pampered. They are not supposed to be protected. They are not supposed to be cushioned against the law. And this is why we have asked management, please, if we are to remain relevant as an institution of KCC, we must crack the whip. We must take action against this kind of impunity being perpetrated by Ham. If a notice was issued to him way back in August to halt whatever he was doing there, and he has frowned upon that notice, he's continuing with his illegal construction, why not take the necessary steps to have him arrested and prosecuted? That is issue number one. If we were to stamp out impunity, we must crack the whip. We must deal with the Ham Kigundu, take on the bull by the horns. Lest we shall not enforce the law against anyone if we cannot get the big fish brought before the, brought to book. That is number one. Two, we are exploring ways as an institution to ensure that the victims of this man-made disaster are compensated by both Ham Kigundu, and the institution of KCCA for recklessness, negligence, and outright complicity. As an institution and the central government, I don't want to include myself, but the institution of KCC and the government are accomplices in this impunity. And because we owe a duty of care to the business community, and they suffered this injustice at the hands of Ham Kigundu, of course in collusion with the government agencies, they deserve some remedies. They are entitled to remedies. There is a known legal dictum that thou shalt not suffer wrong without a remedy. It's not in dispute. The business community suffered a wrong, so they cannot go without any atonement, without any remedy. So the very reason, as leaders, we have to take these steps, and we have already started on the same, to ensure that we cause this matter to be addressed. And if need arises, we shall not hesitate to go to courts. We want to repeat this. If need arises, we shall not hesitate to take a legal action, to file a civil suit, to seek for remedies. No. So the victims to seek remedies. No. If need arises, we shall not hesitate to file a case in the courts of law to cause compensation to be made towards the victims of this injustice. Finally, we want to put Parliament to task. This fact-finding team of Chimosho should stop this business of flirting around with this serious issue. Stop it. You're saying, Daniel Chimosho and your team, you should stop flirting around with this issue. Stop hoodwinking Ugandans that the investigation is going on. If there is nothing that you are doing to investigate this matter, say so. You invited us for a meeting on 17th of September. You turned us away without any justifiable reason, indicating that you would be calling us at an appropriate time. Up to now, you have not written to us. You have not rescheduled the meeting. You have not told us when we shall be meeting again. Why hoodwink Ugandans? Stop that business. Stop that nonsense. If you are accomplices, say so. Instead of hoodwinking Ugandans, that you are conducting investigations. I thank you. Cannot give you that permit unless you are seized with the environmental impact assessment report. To date, no study has been conducted downtown there. No environmental impact assessment report, you call it Asia, which is in place. And therefore, NEMA could not approve this project. I have here with me the communication from NEMA, signed by Ibali Rega Kankwasa, the Executive Director of NEMA. It's dated 22nd of August 2025. It was written to the Executive Director, Kampala Capital City Authority, and a copy given to the Office of the Lord Mayor and the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Water and Environment. Warm greetings from the National Environment Management Authority. We have received information on the proposed development of Nakivubo Channel by Ham Enterprises. There is even a confusion whether it is Ham or Key Ham. It is confusing. You know, he has several companies, Fone, and the Fone companies, rather, yes. Ham Enterprises. As the lead agents for environment management in the city, this is to request you to furnish us with all information in your possession relating to the project and the current position on this matter. We appreciate your cooperation and look forward to your timely response on this matter. Ensuring sustainable development. Signed, Badi Rega Kankwasa. Doctor. To date, there is no response to this communication. 22nd August 2025, that's when it was written. Up to now, it has not been responded. So bottom line, there is no environmental impact assessment report in place up to the present moment. And this is the reason now you are witnessing the calamity downtown there. Because all this ought to have been addressed in the environmental impact assessment report. Actually, it's both the social, environmental and the social impact assessment report, not only environmental and the social impact assessment report. That is issue number 2. Issue number 3. Amis Kigundu, or Ham Enterprises, or Key Ham, whichever the case may be, proceeded to commence construction without the necessary approvals of their plans. Not even lodging an application here, a plan. Can you imagine this kind of impunity and arrogance? You embark on a project of that nature over our trust property, a drainage channel, without even having the audacity, the courtesy of filing or lodging an application for approval of the plan by the regulatory agency, KCCA. It was on that premise, or that against that background, that on the 22nd day of August this year, that the office of the executive director, by that time I think it was Benon Chigenyi who was there, issued a notice to Ham to halt whatever he was doing. You captured this in the meeting. 22nd August, please halt whatever you are doing, because what you are doing is illegal. But because of impunity, he proceeded. He frowned upon this communication and he went ahead with his project, unabated. And this is exactly what is happening, and it has occasioned this. So, there is no way KCCA would supervise that project, or our experts here supervise that project which is not approved. There was no way. In other words, he has been conducting this exercise of purported reconstruction of the channel without, first of all, the plans, two, the supervision by the regulatory agency, KCCA. That is issue number 4. Issue number 5, it's about the conspiracy being perpetrated by Parliament. We would like to register our disillusionment with the way Parliament has conducted this matter. You recall we presented our concerns to Parliament. The Speaker directed, no, actually not the Speaker, initially the matter was assigned to COSASI. And we were invited to appear before COSASI. Reaching there, we were treated to melodrama. The chairperson of the committee read a letter from the Speaker, the Honorable Anita Mongo, stopping the investigations that were being conducted by COSASI. Instead, she had constituted what she termed as a fact-finding committee headed by one Chimosho, and said, no, please stop whatever you are doing, don't proceed with the investigations in the matter, to conduct the investigations and report to Parliament. Of course, we took exception to that. Parliament operates through structured committees. And these committees are either sessional or standing committees. Now, something alien, foreign, propped up and said, we are going to have a fact-finding. And what do you do with that report of a fact-finding team? That notwithstanding, he said, okay, fine. Let's wait for the report of the fact-finding team. I remember I saw some pictures on TV where Chimosho and team were posturing. They went around purporting to investigate, to monitor whatever was doing, was happening there. They purported to have a tour. Actually, it was a tour. It was not an investigation or a supervision or evaluation, whatever the case. No, it was just a tour that they conducted. That was Chimosho and his team, comprising of Mogema, Chibedin Sevumire, and others. On the received a communication from that fact-finding team headed by signed by Chimosho Dan. They invited us for an interface, a meeting with the team on the 19th day of August. No, 17th, sorry. They invited us to appear before the team on the 17th of September 2025. And these were the issues. That the fact-finding team commenced meetings into the above matter and requests for a meeting with you, wherein the team seeks to 1. No, this opening statement is equally important for your information. This is what Chimosho said. On the 19th day of August 2025, the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament constituted a fact-finding team to investigate concerns arising from developments of the Nakivubo drainage channel in line with the Presidential Directive of 2nd August 2025. The fact-finding team commenced meetings into the above matter and requests a meeting with you, wherein the team seeks to A. Ascertain the legal status of the land occupied by the Nakivubo drainage channel, including ownership and encumbrances. 2. Verify in allegations that a portion of Nakivubo channel was cordoned off by a private developer, Ham Enterprises, and to determine whether redevelopment commenced without requisite approvals from the relevant authorities. 3. To establish the plans for relocating and resettling traders and other persons whose livelihoods have historically depended on operating along Nakivubo channel. Number 4, to examine the nature, scope, and objectives of the ongoing and planned development of the Nakivubo channel and to assess whether the developments comply with existing laws, regulations, and policy frameworks. These were the terms of reference of this fact-finding team. And this is what they set out to investigate and come up with a report. What happened on 17th? For us, we set off to go to the committee. On reaching Parliament, again we got a shock of our life. He gave us a letter on that very day, the morning of 17th September, rescheduling of a meeting with the fact-finding team on the Nakivubo drainage channel and related developments. Reference is made to your letter dated 11th September, wherein you are invited for a meeting on the developments of the Nakivubo drainage channel. The fact-finding team regrets to inform you that the meeting scheduled for 17th September will not be undertaken as had been earlier communicated due to other engagements. The purpose of this letter, therefore, is to inform you of the postponement of the said meeting to a more appropriate date that will be communicated in due course. Signed, Chimosho.